Hey everybody, welcome to Myelin Productions. I'm Sir Gregory here at Red Crags Estates in Colorado, and I'm here with Shale Le Page.
Hello.
Shale is one of the best actors Myelin Productions has ever had the opportunity and pleasure to work with.
Thank you.
And you've done quite a bit of work too.
I have.
And you've got some projects actually coming up. This is April 2014. You've got projects this month.
I have a couple projects this month. Let's see, last year I worked every month of the year last year in a bunch of small independent films.
That's awesome.
And I got a couple things going on this month, absolutely.
Oh, well, that's excellent. Shale actually plays one of our best paladin characters, Caius.
Caius Fleetwood.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about Caius on the Eye of Noor Draco Ortus vampire series?
Well, let's see. There's a lot of dimensions to Caius, so I'll try to give you the cliff notes. Caius is back from the. He's from Wales.
Uh-huh.
He fought alongside the Knights of the Round Table,
King Arthur.
and he was just a regular, normal, everyday Joe like myself, trying to fight evil.
Right.
Caius got injured in battle. He almost died, and he became an imbued. He's imbued. An imbued paladin being, a paladin is someone that is sent down by God to eradicate the evil on Earth. And they live forever. They can live forever.
Right.
And then when their time is done here on Earth, then they get to go up to heaven and sit alongside God.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Now, your character Caius, he's been fighting the vampires for centuries.
For centuries.
And the vampires actually killed his original human family.
Yes.
And so that created a vendetta that you carry and harbor to want to eradicate this evil.
Right, and three of the Knights of the Round Tables are paladins: Bors, Percival, and
Galahad.
And there was a moment where Caius had been mortally wounded, and these three paladins want to make Caius a paladin himself, basically immortal.
Right.
So they make him what's called an imbued paladin. He wasn't born a paladin, but he was made a paladin. And now his goal is, and his focus is he wants to kill the vampire that has taken his family out, has killed his wife and his two children.
Right. So there's that personal motivation and drive.
Right.
Now, you also, one of the things I like about you, Shale, and one of the things that Shale Le Page here does extremely well, is you really develop your character.
Right.
I mean, you get into it. When we first brought you on board the Eye of Noor series, I was very, very impressed with how you just jumped into the character to develop it and to bring it out. And of course, the Eye of Noor series has gone on for several years, and you know, with minor setbacks and on and off, like all independent film. And but the good thing is that we're moving forward, and you're one of the people who've been a cornerstone in that. And you've also done a lot of other projects in which you've really developed yourself into the character.
Right. I'm working on a project right now. I don't know a whole lot about it yet. I know that the character is very withdrawn.
An introvert.
He's an introvert, and I'm growing my hair out, and I'm trying to become that character. A lot of characters I played in my past film endeavors are very aggressive, very in your face, very. And
you play a great cowboy.
Play a great cowboy.
You've done that more than once. Okay, and then what were those two projects?
One of the projects was called The Attica.
The Attica, great project, by the way.
It was called The Attica, short film done by a man by the name of Nathan Latier, written by Kent Welling.
Very good.
And then the other cowboy project was called The Cowboy, just The Cowboy. And that was actually my very, very first film ever. And that was written and directed by Nathan Latier. And actually you can find both those films on YouTube.
And you just recently played Bad Cop?
I just played a bad cop. I just did my first feature-length film.
It was awesome, by the way. You did a great job.
I played a drug-addicted cop, and it was probably one of the. It was a lot of character development in that too, because there was things that I had to do to become that. Well, not things I had to do, but things I had to try to experiment with as far as becoming.
It's funny when you said that the crows went off. That was good.
Right.
That was good. So you didn't become drug addicted, did you?
No, I didn't become a drug addict, but I had my character is addicted to cocaine, and so I was trying different methods of faking
The addiction process.
Yeah, so I snorted a lot of powdered sugar. It was just but it was my first feature-length film. It was shot out of Denver.
And who did that?
His name is Nike Nitti. He's Nike Nitti, Ate the Skate, and Quan Wells are the guys that put the film together. Nike being a rapper out of Denver. Some amazing talent up there as far as the rappers and actors are concerned.
There actually is. What was the name of the film?
The film is called Grit City.
It's good. I've seen it. It's awesome. It's a good film. Actually, I've seen all your work.
Yeah.
That's been released and put out there. That's great. It's great stuff. So how did you? I know you said you experimented on different things, but to get into the depth of that character, what else did you do?
Just really trying to, the character I played was he was a really dirty cop.
Sure.
So I watched other movies and kind of saw how like Denzel Washington developed his character for Training Day.
Nicolas Cage, Bad with Italy. Yeah.
Yep. So watching other characters and how they did their thing, but not being that character and trying to develop my own character.
Right.
He had a bad attitude. And he just really paying attention to the script, really.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about character development for me is really paying attention to the script and trying to hear what the writer and director are trying to put out there.
And that's one of the things that Myelin Productions does is I love structured improvisation, and you do great structured improv.
Right.
We kind of give a parameter, we give a boundary. Your character is this, and now you've got a lot of free reign, which is why I really enjoyed how you took that character.
Right.
And you actually named your sword.
Yes.
Because we train with real swords, we do real metal on metal in the filming, and you actually named your sword, which was awesome.
I did.
Yep. So that was really cool.
As I'm sitting here thinking about the name of my sword, I actually forgot the name of my sword.
Your son's name.
No, that's not it. Nah. It'll come back to me when I remember. I just drew this huge blank.
No, that's cool though.
But I did name my sword. I named my sword. The character Caius Fleetwood. Like he's a very angry, very emotional person. But the thing about Caius is that he brings this love for his family that he's had for centuries.
Yep.
With him, even from the time of the Knights of the Round Table till today, and he has that love for his wife and his children
and also for humanity in general.
And for humanity in general, because he doesn't want to see this just go to waste to the vampires.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what the vampires are trying to do. They're trying to eradicate mankind or turn us into food or turn us into slaves.
Exactly.
And Caius doesn't want that.
Exactly.
And Caius's main goal is, like I said earlier, is that the paladins they hope to ascend high and go and sit next to the side of. They want to sit next to God.
Right.
My character Caius, all he wants to do is find his golden stairway and get to heaven also.
Absolutely.
After he eradicates the evil.
Absolutely. So he's a more focused warrior mentality.
Right.
But also at the same time, he's very much a humanitarian.
Absolutely.
Is the name of your sword D'Artagnan? Something like that?
Oh, it's going to kill me.
We'll put it in the notes
We'll
of
come
the
back.
film. We'll put it in the notes of the film.
Come
so
back
you
to
guys
the
will
name
see
of
it.
my sword.
Also, you actually have quite a bit of talent in martial arts.
Yes, I for about 15 years I fought semi-pro kickboxing.
That's awesome. Because in part of the Myelin Productions, we have Citadel Process, which is our training company, and you did a lot of training with them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You learned to sword fight, learned
Yep.
stuff, and you actually choreographed some of the fight scenes.
I did help choreograph some of the fight
You
scenes.
worked with Sir David Card, Sir David Frank, and Sir Evan Jackson,
Yep.
and you guys actually put together quite a bit, and Squire Nicholas Olson, and you actually brought a lot of those skills you have into training these people.
Right.
How did you approach that? What was your thinking on that?
Well, and again, when I try to develop a character, I try to put some of me into that character. And for me, I feel like Caius coming up through the ages, he's going to learn to pick up things.
That's
and
right.
I felt like that.
That's right.
Maybe there was a time that maybe Caius went to Thailand. He learned some Muay Thai kickboxing.
There you go.
or something,
There you go. Yeah.
And so I felt like I needed to develop that into my character and into the fight scenes and make that realistic. I mean, I think if Caius would just go out there and throw a 1-2 punch, that's not going to work for Caius.
Right.
Caius can throw a 1-2 punch, sword strike, kick,
Exactly.
anything that he can.
That's right.
So I try to put some of myself into that character.
That's one of the things, again, I know we've said this over and over, that I really like about your approach to acting. You do actually bring yourself, and when you see and I've watched all your work, when you see the different characters, those are unique individual characters, but you can actually see where you, Shale, have developed that character.
Right.
Now, is that what you look for when you take on a project? Because some actors say, I don't want to do anything. You just tell me everything to do and I'll do it. other actors like yourself, who I think are the better actors, the more adept actors, say, give me the character and let me run with it?
I would like directors that will let me run with it. I haven't yet met a director that won't let me just kind of run with a character.
Sure.
I sometimes feel like there's been times that I'll be working on a role, or I'll be working on a scene with a director, and sometimes I feel like I become annoying to the director because I'm like, hey, well, let's try this, or let's do this. I know you have your vision, but let me try this.
Yeah.
And there'll be even times when I'm on set where I'll just throw something out there and I'll improvise something and just do it. But
And I love that. I love that.
and if the director doesn't like it, he'll say, well, don't do that again. Or I love that. I didn't envision that coming to light. I didn't see that. The character doing that.
See, that's, in my opinion, that's the mark of a good director. To give you the tools,
Right.
and then let
And you-
you build.
And you've been very good with that.
And that's what you have to do, because as I wrote the Eye of Noor series, Draco Ortus, I have, like you said, a vision,
Right.
but I also have multiple characters.
Right.
And those characters need to come to life. And
Right.
you actually do that extremely well. And the people who are still on this project, who've worked with this project, they do that very, very well. Without naming names, we're not going to name names. You've also, like most actors in independent film, you've run into some pretty toxic individuals, pretty toxic characters.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and by characters, I mean real people, not written characters. How do you deal with that? Because, maybe give some pointers to people, because one of the number one things that I've heard from independent actors is why they leave acting. They love it, they have a passion, but they don't want to deal with those people. How do you deal with them and stay in?
I think for me, I just don't. I try not. If I know that there's a toxic actor, I know there's someone that's trying to be a cancer to the production, or they have their own agenda.
Yep.
For me,
Yep.
the one piece of advice that I can give anybody, if you're acting, if you're listening to this, or you want to know my approach to it, I just want to act. That's it. If you want to be an actor, just act. Don't get caught up in the other BS.
That's right.
You're not a director. You're not a writer. If you want to be a director and a writer, go out and direct and write your own film. Just act. Otherwise, plainly put, shut up and just act. Otherwise, you can move on.
That's true. That's very, very true. Because the politics, and I love what you said one time when we very first met, we were talking, because you're a big baseball fan.
Yep.
And matter of fact, you're doing a documentary right now on the colored players.
I am doing a documentary. I've been writing a documentary for like the last 5 years on a local baseball team here in Colorado Springs. It was called the Colorado Springs Brown Bombers. If you get a chance, look them up. There's a bunch of articles on Google about the Colorado Springs Brown Bombers. I'm trying to put together an actual documentary about the Brown Bombers and the history of Colorado Springs.
But one of the things you said, which I loved, and I tell you that this really, really was awesome, is you said you approach acting like baseball.
Right.
You've got the front office,
Yeah,
and you've got the players.
that's right. Yep,
And you've got the trainers. And the front office deals with the politics.
absolutely.
That's the producers, the writers, the directors, the basically the crew, and then you've got the players, who's the cast.
Right.
And I absolutely love how you did that approach, how you actually said that. A quick story, we're not going to name names. You did a movie in which you played a cowboy,
Yep.
and you weren't like the main lead, you were one of the leads.
Right.
And like the main guy, we're not going to name names, was very arrogant, wouldn't talk to people, was very condescending
Yes.
to people. You actually tried to give him praise and say, good job.
Right.
And all he said was, yeah, I know.
Right.
And who today is remembered for that film and gets the credit? Shale Le Page.
Right.
And that's attitude. That's how, because every single person I know a lot of the crew that worked on that. The one person they talk about constantly, Shale. The attitude, the personality, your willingness to help other people, your willingness to be very flexible. When we look at Eye of Noor, Draco Ortus, I constantly hear back about 4 people. Jeremy McKittrick, great vampire. Evan Jackson, everyone loves Sir Evan. Squire Nick Olson, everyone loves his attitude, his personality, and consistently Shale Le Page.
Well, that's appreciated.
Constantly.
So thank you to you if you're doing that.
The fans, thank you so much for supporting us, for backing us. Shale, in the last couple minutes, I know you got your family here, and you guys are touring and looking around.
Yeah, we think we're gonna renew our vows on October, my wife and I, and we're thinking about using the Red Crags as a venue.
I see your wife and your small son.
Oh yeah, my wife. Say hi, honey.
I have to go get the sun.
Okay, we're gonna get the sun.
I need to be
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans, the supporters, investors, anybody at all? First off, I want to say you are an awesome actor, but more important, I know you as a person.
Thank you.
You are an awesome person. You are exactly what people need to be if they want to advance in life.
Well, I appreciate that. I would like to say, you know, you hear it all the time, and acceptance speeches and all that, but once in a while, I mean, it goes out to the fans. I mean, really, the fans are the ones that keep this going. If it wasn't for the fans, there would be no drive for
That's right.
for you to continue to write and
That's
direct.
right. That's right.
If it wasn't for the fans, I would have no reason to act and do what I do, even though it's a hobby. I'm not getting paid to do any of this, but I enjoy doing it.
You will be.
Eventually.
Trust me. Yeah, trust me.
But you know, I want to say thank you to the fans. I want to say thank you to the people that are trying to or thinking about investing in this project. If you're thinking about investing in this project, please know that as an actor, as a person, I appreciate it, because what you're doing is you're just helping advance the art, and that's my thing. I'm a huge fan of taking care of the local arts.
There
Supporting local arts.
Yes.
And if you're out there supporting the local arts, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Because if it's not for the local arts, we got nothing.
We have 16 international fan clubs. Eye of Noor has 16 international fan clubs around the world. And in the last minute, because you talked about you like the story, you like its original, in real briefly, how would you summarize how you feel about the story and the message of Eye of Noor and Draco Ortus specifically?
The one thing I like about the project, when I first sat down and talked with Greg about the project, is that there's some history behind it. Yes, it's a vampire story. Yes, there's going to be battles, there's going to be fights, but there's some history behind it. Greg has taken the time to find the history and put that into his film.
The real original history.
The real original history of
Of vampires.
I didn't know that there's paladins in the Bible. I'm not a very religious guy, but if you read the Bible, this stuff is in the Bible, and I'm not by any means going out religion here. I'm just saying that there's some history behind it. If you do a little history and a little research on what Greg is doing,
Yep.
go Google it and check it out. It's there, and that's what I like about the project, because there is history and there's some historical value to it.
That's right. And I also want to thank you personally. You and I both, in the process that we've known each other, we've gone through some serious family personal issues.
Correct. Right.
Some
Yes.
deaths and
Yes.
some I've gone through a lot of emotional issues with my family, in and out of hospitals and sicknesses. And I'll tell you, you're one of the most decent, honest to God, heartfelt people I've ever met. This man is a true humanitarian. He's a true person.
Thank you.
He's a great actor. Watch for and look for Shale Le Page, and he's going to be way beyond and above independent film before much longer. Thank you very much, Shale.
Thank you
for
Thank you.
everything.
And please continue to support. Go to Draco Ortus, go to Eye of Noor, like those things. Go to the Facebook pages, like him, research it, find out what we're all about, find out what Greg's about, because there are good things coming from Colorado Springs, and we are a small town, but there's big things coming here. So
You better believe it.
keep your eye open.
And we're fortunate enough to work with one of the big ones.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Myelin Productions, keep watching. Thank you very much. See you soon.
Yep. Thank you.